Hi, it's episode 105 of 365 of a couple of things. And today I'm going to be talking about the relative feeling of the passing of time. Why do we feel like time is going faster or slower than it actually is? Recording and publishing a daily podcast is definitely one of the things that makes you keenly aware of the passing of time. I have done, as of the publishing of this episode, 105. And then I'm still like, oh my God, I still have 260 episodes to go, on the one hand. And then on the other hand, it's like 105 days of the year have gone by, 106 actually, because I started on the 2nd of January. And that is also stressful because it's like, oh my God, almost a third of the year is gone. What am I doing? What have I done? And to me, it just shows how really everything is relative to how you're looking at it and from what perspective you're looking at it from. From the perspective of recording a daily podcast, time is moving slow. It's not going fast enough because I'm still looking at 200 plus days ahead of me. But from the perspective of all the things I want to do this year and my checklist of goals and daily habits and all of these things, I'm like over 100 days have gone already. Ladi, where are you with all the things you have to do and what you said you're going to do this year? Are you on track? What's happening? What's stopping you? And all of these things. And I find that very interesting how the exact same thing, the like literally the exact same thing, the one thing that has happened or is happening, which is time passing, which is 100 plus days into the year, elicits two different responses based on two different goals. But I'm also the constant in this. Me as a person, me Lade, and the days person are the constants in this equation. But the other things that are changing, the variables, which is my goal that I'm thinking about at that particular point, influences how I interpret these things. So what does this mean in the grand scheme of things? I don't know. I wonder why I always wonder about the grand scheme of things. But anyway, I don't know. What I know is this for me has made me think more about how so many things about life and how we see life is really subject to our interpretation, and our interpretation is always from the point where we're standing, from our vantage point or our point of perspective. It's the same thing about how time goes really slowly when you're standing on a queue and you're just waiting and waiting, and it seems like all the time is going by quickly. While when you're hanging out with your friends and you're having a great time, it seems like time is going by very quickly. Last weekend, when I went on a very long walk with one of my friends, it was the same amount of time going and coming back because we walked in both directions. But when we were going, it seemed really, really long. It seemed so much longer. And it's because I didn't know the path. I didn't know that journey. I had never taken that walk before in that direction. And it felt like I didn't know where it was going to end and what was going to happen. So it felt longer than it was. Because when we were coming back, it felt shorter, it felt faster. And it's a thing I've noticed a lot with many things. You're going somewhere, especially when it's the first time you're going there, the journey seems longer and more time consuming than the return, because in a way I think it's because we have become familiar with that new experience. It's not so new anymore, and so we know what to expect, and so we're not paying attention to all the new things in the environment because they're no longer new to us. And because when we're going on that journey or we're going to that place, whether we're driving or taking public transportation or walking, we're spending more time focusing on the new things, trying to make sense of the new things around us versus just going to where we're going. But when we're coming back, it's not the same case. So I decided to Google this, and I saw that there are many reasons why, quote unquote, scientifically, We might perceive time, the passing of time, to be different when it comes to journey specifically. And it could be familiarity. That's one of the main reasons that people have talked about, because now you're familiar with the route. You're not like focused on interesting, nothing is really new to you anymore on this journey. So with the example of my long walk with my friend, like going was new, I was paying more attention to things, but coming back I was more familiar and I knew where I was going, so I wasn't slower in that sense. I myself wasn't slower, and the return trip felt shorter, even though when I checked the time that it took us, it took roughly the same amount of time going and coming back, but it just felt different. And other people have said that it's a mismatch of expectations, that we just feel when we're going, we feel like it will take longer, and it does feel that way. But when we're coming back, then it doesn't feel like it's going to be longer. So then it feels shorter. It's really just about how we feel and our expectations. I don't know which of these theories are correct, but that's what the scientists said. So if I take that lens and look at it from the perspective of recording this daily podcast, and then also looking at my goals for the year, I guess 100 days passing doesn't seem like a lot in the context of trying to publish a podcast for 365 days, because there's still a lot ahead. On the other hand, 100 days passing seems like too much time has passed for my other goals, because then I feel like I don't have enough time to achieve them. And that's where I leave you today. Thanks for listening. Bye. Thank you for listening to today's episode of A Couple of Things. If you found anything insightful, interesting, or you enjoyed this episode, please do share. And remember to like, if you can, wherever you listen to your podcasts, leave a comment, subscribe, so you get the future episodes. Thanks. Before you go, this is a reminder that you can ask me to talk about a specific topic or answer a question that you have by filling the form in the show notes to submit your suggestion or question. Bye.